Well, the big W himself, Walt Mossberg, is urging us all to channel our inner procrastinator, which is kind of interesting because I didn't think Walt had a procrastinator. He's so busy and productive all the time. Walt, why do you want us to procrastinate? It's not like you. Are you telling all your minions at All Things Digital to procrastinate?
I'm telling everyone whose laptop isn't on their last legs, who isn't desperately needing a laptop, that they're going to have a lot of new choices in laptops coming, especially in the fall, but even in the summer. And so if you're thinking about buying a laptop right now and for the next few months, I really think you should wait and wait for these new models that are coming.
So, Walt, this is so convenient they're saying this because my husband's laptop is on his last legs and we're discussing this every day. But, you know, you have two arguments, it seems. One is wait for Windows 8, and two is wait for the next round of Intel chips. And I'm all for the chips. I think faster is better, but, you know, I don't always think it's a great idea to wait for the new OS. Sometimes these OSs need to shake out a little bit, and particularly if it's going to be based on touch and if you're really kind of a productivity-based power user of a laptop, do you want to wait for that or just stick with the simple known Windows?
Well, Julia, you know, that's a great point, but I'm not talking so much about Windows 8 per se. Mm-hmm. It's the hardware that people are bringing out around the time of Windows 8 that I think will give people interesting choices, like machines that attempt, at least, and I haven't reviewed them, maybe they won't be any good, but machines that attempt to combine a tablet and a regular laptop, or to give you a tablet-like experience on the screen, but with a keyboard. Now, people may not choose these, but my job is to say to consumers, hey, what's the situation right now in the when I do these buyer's guides, and what factors ought you to keep in mind? There's another thing that I did mention that you left out, which is Apple. If you are inclined to consider or to buy a Mac, they're also overdue for bringing out new hardware, new laptop hardware, and I'm fairly convinced that in the next coming months, I think you're going to see new Mac laptops. So if you bought one of those, which, as you know, are not low-priced, in April or May, you may feel buyer's remorse if, let's say, in July, and I don't know that July is correct, they bring out something that's kind of radically redesigned.
Mm-hmm. Do you know what sort of? Do you know what sort of?
Go ahead, Simon.
Do you know what sort of features we might want to expect from Apple? I know they're always like great looking and stuff.
Well, I think most observers expect that the MacBook Pros, which are their heavier duty line of laptops, will take on some of the characteristics of the very popular MacBook Air, which means, you know, faster hard drives, longer battery life, quicker startup, possibly thinner form factors. Now, I don't know these things for a fact, but I do know Apple is going to have new laptops, and right now, what I'm saying in my buyer's guide is, why not wait, if you can, to see what those are like, and the same with the PC makers. On the chips, and this goes to Julia's point, let's say you didn't even care about Windows 8, you just wanted to stick with Windows 7, and let's say you wanted to buy one of these new Ultrabooks, which only really started appearing like very late last year. There's going to be a new more powerful, and yet, according to Intel at least, still very good on battery life series of chips, and you're going to see that actually very quickly, I think maybe even next week. But for average consumer Ultrabooks and things like that, the summer is when you're going to see those new chips appear in those machines. And so once again, there's a reason, if you can, to wait, because you could be buying essentially the same computer today, but it could be much faster or even have better battery life if you wait a few months.
Oh my God, we're going to have to keep my husband's laptop alive with like wind power for the next 3 months.
Well, I mean, look, Julia. I'm not saying it's a disaster if somebody buys one now. I'm just trying to give you know, my honest point of view of what I know is coming, and I'm not so
that's
sure all
one
the
thing-
readers know is
One
coming.
thing we can always guarantee with you, Walt, is that you're going to be honest. I'm afraid we have to leave it there, but I urge everybody to check out Walt Mossberg's review in today's paper. Thank you very much. The big dummy himself, Walt Mossberg.